Dear students, welcome to part second of our lecture that is on hypothalamus, hypophysis, gonadal axis. Now, yesterday we discussed the part first of this axis, that is the structure and role of hypothalamus, and today we will take the part second. We will be discussing on the role of pituitary gland and the gonads. And our objective is to basically understand how nervous system exerts influence on the anterior pituitary gland to secrete the gonadotropins, and then how is the synthesis of gonadotropins related to the secretion of saccharides by the gonads. Now, in the previous lecture you came to know about the location and the role of hypothalamus in this HPG axis. I am sure you will have understood that very well. Today we will learn about the pituitary and the gonads in this HPG axis. But first, it is important to understand basically the last part of the hypothalamus, which we didn't discuss yet, is about the nature of the releasing and inhibiting hormones, what are called as inhibitory and releasing neurosecretory hormones of the hypothalamus. So we need to have some idea about those two categories of neurohormones also secreted by the hypothalamus before we can switch to understanding the role of pituitary gland. As I told you that in the neurohormones released by the hypophysiotropic areas, the HTA of the hypothalamus, they can either increase or they can decrease the synthesis and secretion of anterior pituitary gland hormones, which are basically follicular stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. And when we say that when a neurohormone it can increase the output of an anterior pituitary hormone, we simply say that is a releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. But if that neurohormone has the capability of decreasing or inhibiting the output of a particular anterior pituitary hormone like FSH or LH, we will say that is an inhibiting hormone from the hypothalamus. And most hormones of the adenohypophyses are controlled by releasing hormone, and some are known to be controlled by both releasing and inhibiting hormone. An important thing is that each releasing or release inhibiting hormone from the hypothalamus is probably synthesized by different groups of neurosecretory nuclei or neurosecretory cell bodies in the HTA. Or there is also the possibility that only one releasing hormone in humans controls the synthesis and secretion of both luteinizing hormone as well as the follicular stimulating hormone of the pituitary gland. However, in case of the other mammals, there has been the evidence through research accumulated that hypothalamus in some mammals contains separately the luteinizing hormone releasing hormone as well as the follicular stimulating releasing hormone. And then that later on causes the release of the FSH, but most concentration is of FSH and little concentration is of LH in case of other mammals. But overall, as far as the humans are concerned, there has been only a single releasing hormone responsible for the release of both LH and the FSH from the pituitary gland, and that single releasing neurosecretory hormone which is secreted by the hypothalamus. It is called as gonadotropin releasing hormone. So this was very important to know about the releasing and inhibiting hormones from the hypothalamus. Now coming to our today's talk, basically that is the role of pituitary gland or the hypophyses and it is secretion of gonadotropins. Now first let us know where is this pituitary gland located. You might be knowing about the Turkish saddle or the sella turcica of our brain or our skull. That is basically a very small cup-shaped depression lying at the base of the skull in the sphenoid bone. तो इसी में प्रेजेंट होता है बेसिकली ये पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड जिसको हम हाइपोफाइसिस भी बोलते हैं, और इसका साइज जो तकरीबन होता है वो आधा इंची तकरीबन इसका साइज होता है पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड का. तो उसके दो हिस्से होते हैं, वन रीजन इज कॉल्ड एज एडिनोहाइपोफाइसिस और द पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड और द पारस डिस्टालिस, एंड द अदर इज द न्यूरोहाइपोफाइसिस और द पारस नर्वोसा, जिसको हम पोस्टीरियर पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड भी जानते हैं। और आपको पता ही होगा कि बहुत सारे हार्मोन्स एंटीरियर और पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड से रिलीज होते हैं। क्योंकि आज हमारा जो टॉपिक है, वी आर ओनली डिस्कसिंग द सिक्रीशन ऑफ एफएसएच एंड एलएसएच, सो फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्पस वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग ओनली द anterior pituitary gland or the adenohypophysis or the pars distalis. Very good. And this pars distalis or the anterior pituitary gland basically occupy the 70% of the pituitary gland. So that is maximum presence is of this anterior pituitary gland, and it contains basically several types of special एंडोक्राइन सेल्स, जिनको हम एसिडोफिल्स या बेसोफिल्स के नाम से जानते हैं। इट इज दीज एसिडोफिल्स एंड बेसोफिल्स which are basically responsible for secreting the FSH and the LSH। लेकिन यहाँ पर मैं एक बात आपको बताना चाहूँ कि जो बेसोफिल्स हैं, बोलते हैं कि बेसोफिल एरिया जो है या बेसोफिल सेल्स जो है, यही ज़्यादा सिक्रेट करते हैं FSH एंड LH। और दूसरी बात जो है कि ये जो सेल्स हैं एसिडोफिल्स एंड बेसोफिल्स, इनको हम बेसिकली गोनेडोट्रोप्स बोलते हैं, क्योंकि ये सिक्रेटरी सेल्स हैं। और ये जो इनका जो प्रपोर्शन कंसंट्रेशन होती है इस एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी में, तकरीबन 7 से 15% जो तमाम सेल्स होते हैं वो होती हैं ज़्यादा गोनेडोट्रोप्स, यानी कि ऐसी सेल्स जिनमें कैपेबिलिटी है कि दे कैन सिक्रेट द इम्पोर्टेंट हार्मोन कॉल्ड एज पिट्यूटरी गोनेडोट्रोपिन्स और पिट्यूटरी गोनेडोट्रोपिक हार्मोन, जिनको हम अलग अलग से जानते हैं FSH एंड LH। और चाहे वो मेल मैमल्स हो चाहे फीमेल मैमल्स हो, हार्मोन का नाम एक ही है, लेकिन आपको पता ही है कि इनका रोल अलग अलग है। जब ये FSH और LSH पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड से रिलीज होके ब्लड सर्कुलेशन में जाते हैं, देन इट रीचेस द टेस्टिस। तो आपको पता है अगर मेल है फीमेल है, वहाँ पर उनका अलग अलग रोल है अकॉर्डिंगली। तो वो चीज़ हमें पता चलेगी जब हमें इसका थर्ड पार्ट लेना है, जिसको हम बोलते हैं द रोल ऑफ गोनेड्स एंड देयर सेक्स स्टेरॉयड सिक्रेशन, क्योंकि हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं हाइपोथैलेमस पिट्यूटरी गोनेडल एक्सिस, HPG एक्सिस। तो इसका मतलब है कि दो पार्ट हमने इसके जान लिए, क्या क्या, हाइपोथैलेमस और पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड, और वहाँ से कौन सा हार्मोन सिक्रेट होता है। जैसे गोनेडोट्रोपिन रिलीजिंग हार्मोन जो हाइपोथैलेमस से आता है, वो क्या करता है पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड पे, कैसे पहुँचता है पिट्यूटरी, एज ए टोल्ड यू देयर आर द पोर्टल सर्कुलेशन फॉर दैट। ये जो न्यूरो सिक्रेटरी हार्मोन्स है उनका बेसिकली एंडोक्राइन रोल है। तो ये दूसरे ऑर्गन जिसको एंटीरियर पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड में बोलते हैं, वहाँ पहुँच के थ्रू ब्लड सर्कुलेशन, थ्रू पोर्टल सर्कुलेशन, उसके बाद जब पिट्यूटरी को ये सिग्नल मिलते हैं कि भाई अजी आपको FSH और LH बनाने हैं, तो वंस FSH एंड LH आर सिक्रेटेड इन द बेसिकली द पल्सेटाइल मैनर, जो आपको टेक्स्ट से पता चलेगा, आई हैव मेंशन्ड इट देयर कि ये पल्सेटाइल सिक्रेशन क्या होती है। तो अल्टीमेटली जब ये हार्मोन कौन से FSH और LH जब ये आप गोनेड्स पे पहुंचते हैं, चाहे वो मेल हो चाहे फीमेल हो, आपको पता है अलग अलग रोल है उनका। तो ओवरऑल यहाँ पर हम वो डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे जहाँ हमने ऑलरेडी पढ़ा हुआ है कि गोनेडल हार्मोन्स क्या क्या हैं मेल्स के फीमेल्स के, लेकिन यहाँ पर जो हम जानना चाहेंगे दैट इज हाउ इज द गोनेड कनेक्टेड विद द पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड। And simple answer is that the gonads and the pituitary gland, they are connected to the blood circulation. There is no neural connection or there is no separate what is called as connectivity. It is only through the blood circulation system that once the gonadotropin hormones called as FSH and LH, they are released from the pituitary gland in response to a proper signal from the hypothalamus and in response to the proper signal through the feedback mechanism from the body. So once this FSH and LH are released, they go to the blood circulation, and as their receptors are present on the cells in the testes and the ovaries, so they reach there. And important thing about this is that here the LH and the FSH, in case of males and the females, they act separately on the testes and the ovaries. Or if I will recall here that when we say that in case of male mammals or in case of testes, once the follicular stimulating hormone reaches the testes, it goes to the spermatogenous cells, or it goes to the process of spermatogenesis. Those spermatogonia or those spermatocytes, they bear the receptors of this follicular stimulating hormone, जहाँ पर स्पेशल सेल्स होती हैं जिनको हम लेडिक सेल्स बोलते हैं, because those Leydig cells bear basically the receptors for FSH, and once these Leydig cells sense the presence of FSH in the vicinity, so they respond by the synthesis of testosterone, and it is this testosterone which is responsible for the development and maintenance of male reproductive system. While as in case of females, once this FSH reaches the ovary, the ovarian cells, the follicular cells, they bear the receptors for the follicular stimulating hormone. So once they sense the presence of follicular stimulating hormone, they respond to its presence and they start maturing. What is called as egg maturation takes place, and in turn they also respond by the secretion of two important hormones. The major one is the estrogen and the minor one the progesterone. And you know again that these estrogen is very important in the development and the maturation of the female reproductive system, and as far as the maintenance is concerned, the progesterone role is also very important. So by this time we came to understand how the gonads are connected with the pituitary gland through the blood circulatory system, and then how is basically in the first instance pituitary gland connected with the hypothalamus, again through a separate connection called as portal circulation. So we say that three different endocrine tissues or three different endocrine glands, they work together as a unit, and there is a proper feedback control of gonadotropin secretion from the pituitary and their influence on the gonadal release of sex hormones, as I have discussed with you in the previous lectures. So I will be, as usual, I will be providing you the text material for this lecture also. Do read that, do comprehend that, and try to clear the concepts. If still you have certain problems in understanding or you are not clearing the concepts, do ask me, pose the questions. I can provide you the explanation or clarification wherever you need. And one more important thing is, perhaps it might be very difficult for you these days to understand or to be on this platform, but as you know, it's the demand of the time. We need to be on this platform. We are here to support you, to assist you at every stage. So wherever you feel you have the problem, you have the issues, you are not understanding certain things, do ask me. I will be ready to help you. God bless you.